What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today we're going to be doing the Western Conference biggest X Factor on each team in that conference. We did this for the East yesterday. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, please. Before we get into this, I just want to say, please like this shit up if you enjoy, comment an idea down below, and subscribe if you're new. And just want to say, an X Factor, if you don't know what it is, it's basically the make or break player on a team, the guy that will make you good or bad, the guy that, has a lot of pressure to perform, not necessarily a consistent superstar or a guy that we've seen carry the load before, but a guy that has a lot of pressure on him and that the success of the team is really on his shoulders, even though he may not necessarily be a star player. So, let's start off with the Dallas Mavericks. We go in alphabetical order, and it is well-paid, newly acquired forward Harrison Barnes. Now, I'm one of the people who believe in Harrison Barnes. There are believers, there are doubters in Harrison Barnes. There's a lot of people that say, no, he's terrible. He's definitely not ready for prime time. He's definitely not ready to carry the load of a team, but this is really about him. The Mavericks already said that they wanted to make sure that he was the number 1 or 2 guy on this team. Not a number 4 guy like he was in Golden State, but they want to make sure he's acclimated, and they want to make sure that he's running this team. Now, that's a lot of pressure for a young guy, especially a guy that's, been through terrors in the NBA Finals. I bet he has nightmares about those NBA Finals games that he couldn't make any more of those shots, and the last couple games, you know what? That's all behind him. And if he's really mentally tough, if he's a guy that can really psych himself out, if he can carry this team night in and night out, it's a lot, okay? And he has years and years to develop into that star player the Mavericks hope that he can be. He is their franchise player right now. So, it's all about can he take the next step? For the Denver Nuggets, it's Nikola Jokic. This is mainly because Nikola Jokic has a lot of potential. Denver is not contending for anything, so they don't really have to worry about a veteran like Kenneth Faried or Danilo Gallinari. Those guys probably have already hit their ceilings in their career, unfortunately, and they're nothing more than trade chips as they get older for a young team. However, a guy like Nikola Jokic is young and he's ready to perform and to play, and they need him to transform into a better, NBA All-Star type player. Him along with Emmanuel Mudiay. Those are their 2 young guys, along with guys like Jamal Murray and Gary Harris. They have a ton of young guys that they can use to develop, but Nikola Jokic has more potential than probably any of them, and that's why he is the biggest X Factor. For the Golden State Warriors, it's any player not named Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, or Draymond Green. Yes, these guys, the chemistry between them is important, but what's really going to make this team a championship contender and a championship favorite, I should say, is their supporting cast. Can the rest of this team hold up like those 4 players do? Because we know that those guys are going to produce. Chemistry problems or not, ball movement problems, ball usage problems or not, those 4 guys are going to have great seasons, all of them probably. And, that's basically inevitable. But the championship success hinges on the players that aren't the stars, the supporting cast, the Zaza Pachulias, the Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala. Is he too old? Is he still producing at a high level? The JaVale McGee's even. I mean, those guys, they don't have that much of a bench. They need those guys to produce. They don't exactly fit what they're trying to do. And, that's going to be the key here. For the Houston Rockets, I said it's either Eric Gordon or Clint Capella. And this is because James Harden produces. Okay, he puts up big numbers, big stats. He does his thing, night in, night out. But it all depends on his support. Eric Gordon, can him and Eric Gordon be a reliable defensive backcourt on the defensive end? My instinct says hell no, but these guys can prove me wrong. I mean, James Harden has proved me wrong in the past. Eric Gordon used to be a star player in this league. At some point, can he get that back? If he can, I mean, then this team, their ceiling is so high, but I don't know if I'm going to say that Eric Gordon's going to come back to his prime form when he was dunking on people all the time, when he was more than just a shooter. But it's really hard to tell. But Eric Gordon's definitely going to have a big season alongside James Harden. He's the exact type of guy you want starting with James Harden, a guy that can shoot the shit out the ball. However, they need his defense. Clint Capella is going to be huge for them as well, finishing oops from James Harden, defending the rim. I mean, they're going to need him to defend the rim a lot this season, and he's got a lot of load to shoulder. For the LA Clippers, I went with Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is in a contract year. He needs to perform well, and he needs to help his team win some games and get farther into the playoffs than they've ever been. If they don't reach that third round of the playoffs, that Western Conference Finals, he might just be gone. I mean, honestly, Blake has just gone through so much, and that Clippers team, this might just be the last year for him, and it's all about him. Chris Paul is going to do his thing. DeAndre Jordan is going to absolutely do his thing. Blake Griffin, who had a bad season last year, mostly because he wasn't healthy, can he stay on the court? Can he regain that superstar status he had in that 14-15 and especially in that 13-14 season? For the LA Lakers, I went with D'Angelo Russell. Again, with a team that's bottoming out, that's not contending for a playoff spot, you got to go with the guys with the most potential. D'Angelo Russell has to grow this year. He got to take that next step and become a solid starter in this league and eventually a star. Because D'Angelo Russell is on that path right now. He's got the tools. He's got the coach. Luke Walton, I think he's going to really turn some heads. I think he's going to develop his players well this year. D'Angelo Russell has all the tools to become great. He just got to put in the work. For the Memphis Grizzlies, I went with Chandler Parsons. This was the newly acquired small forward. He was their main free agency addition. And he's a guy that has been injured a lot. And you know guys like Mike Conley and Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol are going to put in work. Those guys just grind it out. You know, they play defense. I mean, these guys are machines, basically. I mean, I don't even know if you can ever say, oh, Mike Conley is hurting his team or Marc Gasol is hurting his team. They're always positives. Chandler Parsons needs to help. He needs to take this team from mediocrity, or at least, you know, not contending for a title, into that area. I know it might seem crazy to put Memphis in that area, but Chandler Parsons, at his best, when he is healthy, can help this team win a lot of games this year. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine, two guys that need to perform this season. This is because Karl-Anthony Towns is on his way to superstardom, and it's all up to Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine to help him on his path there and to help him win some games and make this team what it's advertised to be and become. Andrew Wiggins is tremendously talented. I mean, this guy has so much in the bag, defense, offense, what have you. He'll do it, and he can be a terrific second option. Zach LaVine, he can grow as a shooter and just as overall scorer and athlete. These guys have so much potential, and, you know, at their ceilings, playing with Karl-Anthony Towns, this team could be extremely dangerous. For the Pelicans, it's Anthony Davis. Davis has been injured a lot. He's had years where his team didn't go anywhere, like last year. This is the comeback year. Anthony Davis needs to put in work and lead his team to the playoffs this year. That's the next step for him. For the OKC Thunder, it's Russell Westbrook, another star I'm picking. But this is Westbrook's team now. KD is gone, and we have yet to see if Russell Westbrook can shoulder the load carrying a team to the playoffs. We know he's talented. We know he's great. We know he gives it his all each and every night, but we have not seen him do what he's attempting to do this season. It's really uncharted territory for Russell Westbrook. He's never done this before. He is the guy and the only guy. He will lead his team this season, and it's all up to him whether they get to the playoffs or not. Doesn't matter what goes on with the other guys. It's going to be this guy. He is going to do it. You know, if anyone's going to lead this team to the playoffs, it's Russell Westbrook, and he's got the keys to the offense here. For the Phoenix Suns, it's one of the guys I'm the most excited about, you know, in the future for this NBA, and it's Devin Booker. Devin Booker has been absolutely magnificent so far preseason. In the few games he played in the Summer League in his rookie year, he was fantastic, especially in that second half. He has the potential to be a superstar, an MVP in this league, and he's got to take the next step. Another team like Phoenix, they're not going for the playoffs this year. Probably not. There's a chance, but I don't think it's happening. So, what does he got to do? He's got to put in the work. He's got to take the next step. He's going to average, 18, 19, 20 points a game, something like that. Maybe take big steps, become great. For the Portland Trail Blazers, it's new acquisition, Evan Turner. The Blazers have a really steady backcourt with CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, but they're two guys that like having the ball in their hands. They're a great combination, but Evan Turner as a sixth man might disrupt that. This is a guy that also needs to have the ball in his hands to be effective. He can have the ball in his hands, but he's going to be out there likely with one of those guys at all times. It will be rare when he's out there and McCollum and Lillard are not out there. So, Evan Turner has got to be able to perform, and he's got to be able to mesh with these guys. He's got to be able to play with them and have a positive impact on the team this season. It's going to be a huge factor. For the Sacramento Kings, it's DeMarcus Cousins, but it's if DeMarcus Cousins gets traded or not, because the Sacramento Kings need to trade DeMarcus Cousins, and DeMarcus Cousins need to get traded from the Sacramento Kings. It will be better, so much better for both parties if they just get the hell away from each other. The Kings are ruining DeMarcus Cousins' career. They're never going to win anything with him there. They're just so bad at building around him. They just need to start over. They just scrap it. Everything. Trade DeMarcus Cousins. If you don't, you're going to suck again. And he's going to be mad. And he's going to leave in free agency in 2 years if you don't trade him. It's just so stupid not to trade him. You got to do it. You have to do it. Come on. Just do it already. I just need this to happen. I want to see him succeed. And he's not going to succeed in Sacramento. The San Antonio Spurs, it's Pau Gasol, the new guy. Tim Duncan is a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he's the best power forward of all time. But replacing him is no easy task then. Pau Gasol is a very accomplished NBA player and probably a future Hall of Famer as well. But Pau Gasol is only really skilled in the offensive end. His defense, while he gets the blocks, he's not good at rim protecting and just interior defense in general. He's too slow to keep up with pick and roll, switches, what have you. He's not your guy. Their defense is going to take a hit, and Kawhi Leonard has to shoulder more load. But Pau Gasol has got to contribute now. LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard are two guys that we know are going to produce. They're like machines. Pau Gasol, he's a little more human than those guys, and I think he has to really take a step forward on the defensive end. I don't know if that's going to work out, if he's going to be able to do that. For the Utah Jazz, this team is full of talent, but it's got to be the leader. Gordon Hayward has to lead this team. I know he took a hit with the injury at the beginning of the year, but when we get into it, when he comes back, he's got to be a leader. Okay, that's going to help them become a contender. And, you know, I put them at the 4th seed. I think they're going to make 4th seed in the Western Conference this year. Gordon Hayward has got to take charge. He's got to play better this year. He's got to take that next step, become a star. He can do it. I know it. And that's gonna propel this Jazz team and have them really causing trouble. And they're going to be dangerous this year, I'm telling you. So that's going to do it. I hope you all enjoyed. That's my biggest X factor for every Western Conference team. If you all enjoyed it, please leave a like. Comment an idea. What do you want to see from me in this channel? And subscribe. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.